This is the BatleXP G350. Is this the new Budget King handheld? I really like this pink color. This is pretty cool. This device was sent to me by ToRetro. They did not see this video beforehand. All opinions are my own, and no money was exchanged at all. I opted for the pink color because it's fun and it's pink, but you can see that there's also a transparent black and a DMG colorway. I will have a link in the description below if you are interested in picking this up. I have a 10% off code. Use RetroFunTech at checkout to save some extra money. ToRetro also has free global shipping. Thank you again to ToRetro for sending me this device. So here are the specs for the G350, and nothing super big. The big callouts are the screen. It's a 3.5-inch IPS screen at 640 by 480 resolution. The CPU is a 3326, which we are very familiar with. It's got a Mali GPU. It has 1 gig of RAM, and there is C2C charging on it, and it supports wired controller connection. So there is a lot of talk that this was actually made by Anbernic. The quality of the device versus R36S or any other budget handheld, you can definitely see that it's kind of on par with another Anbernic. The D-pad actually looks very similar. It feels very similar. It feels like an Anbernic device if you've ever used one. So some of you out there that you're new to this, Anbernic is, we talk a lot about Anbernic, so it's a good thing if this is Anbernic, but it's just funny that they came out with this. So according to what I've heard, that apparently this is like a friend or sister company to Anbernic, or they're doing somebody a solid. I don't really know. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was odd. They haven't released anything for a few months. They did release the 557 finally, but for a while this is all we had, and we were like, come on Anbernic, what's going on? So, plus what's very strange, let's take a look at this box really quick. The BatleXP, but Battle's not spelled correctly. It's the BatleXP. I'm probably just nitpicking, but come on, I know that somebody else has thought that out there. BatleXP G350, this whole big slew of words. I was thinking, you should just call this Kevin. Kevin! But maybe not this one. Maybe this is Linda. I don't know. Pink, maybe, whatever. So, whatever you want to name this. In talking about the G350, we have to talk about the R36S, because this, up until the G350 was a thing, the R36S was like the handheld that I would really personally recommend to anybody that was out there. In fact, I told a friend of mine to get, he asked me what to get, and I said, if you're looking for cheap, get the R36S. They're very similar. I will say that I feel like the screen on the G350 is a little bit better than the R36S. I don't know, it just looks better. Maybe it's just me, but I tried to compare them. I didn't see really any actual differences in there. It's just that the R36S, it's put in this very budget, plasticky, cheap feeling shell. And when you come out with something, the G350, this is very solid. It doesn't even rattle. It doesn't even rattle. There's no rattle with it. And the shoulder buttons, they're very soft versus this is just loud. And the face buttons, these are the menu buttons, and they're just silly, just ridiculous, just loud. It's, again, this was budget, so you can't pick on it too hard, but now that we have a competitor, we can compare it. So, but looking at, just really quick, this is the Anbernic 40XXB G350 R36S. So you can see, if you can look at these D-pads, they even have the same arrows in there, and you can see that these arrows are a little bit different on the R36S. But let's compare the size, if I can do this. 31.7, 31, it's pretty much right. Look, 31.7, 31.7. Now the buttons, 18 even. Oh look, 18 even, pretty much. It's 18.1, but I think it's 18 even. Again, just saying. So whether or not it's made by Anbernic, it's a sister company, they did a friend a solid, whatever, I'm all for it because I like it. I think it's pretty cool. The one thing that I will say is that the R36 does have over the G350 is that there is Wi-Fi on this. I had to get myself a new Wi-Fi dongle. Here is the regular stock software that it came with. So there's nothing really, super special about it. It's standard. There's a couple different settings that you can go into. I was trying to get it to connect to Wi-Fi and I was having a rough time. So it doesn't really see, I enabled the Wi-Fi and it's not really seeing anything. But besides that, it plays fine. The stock operating system, you don't have to upgrade to a custom firmware if you don't want to. So if you're watching this and this is your first handheld, just leave it as is. Unless you want to get creative and fun and go into anything, it'll work for what you have on there. And especially one of the reasons that I like to do it is just to start fresh. I can throw my own ROMs on there, and the list that's on here, it's always numbered weirdly and it bothers me. So plus it's just fun to try something different. Stock firmwares are just weird sometimes, at least to me. Again, if you want to just roll with it, that's totally cool. Totally up to you. There are 2 different custom firmwares out there for the G350. There is ArcOS and there is a fork of Anbernic. It's called Pan4Elec. Now, I opted to go with Pan4Elec just because it was different. It's a fork, like I said, of Anbernic, but they're not creating any custom firmwares anymore, so some of the team went over to create Pan4Elec. And I've used ArcOS on quite a few devices, including the R36S. It comes standard with ArcOS. So I wanted something different, so why not? It's really not that different. The Pan4Elec, it has an emulation station background. It's just a little bit different from ArcOS, and there is a lot of customization as far as how your menu and your settings, your menu and your system, and basically how the device looks before you get into the gameplay, if that makes sense. So all of the menus, all of getting into your system lists, and all the files and seeing you can see some video files and things like that. You can have it curated to a list, how it comes into the device, how one page changes from another page. So whether it's a fade or a slide or an instant bounce or something like that. So it's cool. I figured why not? Just something different. They're very similar. There are a couple things with Pan4Elec just to be aware of. There isn't a super easy way of powering the device off. You can't just hold down the power button and it turns off. You do have to go into the settings and actually arrow down to power off and then hit power off and then the device turns off. So that's a tiny little glitch. Also, the other thing is that it is a little bit slower in booting up and sometimes in starting games. And we're talking seconds. It's not like we're talking minutes. It's just a few seconds. So just keep that in mind if you are debating on which custom firmware that you want to go with. If boot time is a huge issue, or if you want to be able to press the power button, just hold it down and press it and power off your device like that, then maybe lean towards ArcOS. But both custom firmware options are very good. G350, just the build quality, whether it is Anbernic or not, it is built a little more sturdy. There's no rattle, there's nothing. You can rattle this. I'm not sure what's inside, but there is a little bit of a rattle. So the R36S is not bad, but I might go for the G350 just because so far, from what I've seen, it's more of a solid device. It seems like it. So the big thing is going to be that there is no Wi-Fi on There's no Wi-Fi standard on the G350. So if that's something that you really need in your life, you can throw your games on there. You can actually scrape them all from your computer if you wanted to redo a card or if you wanted to set up with custom firmware. So there are options there. You can get a dongle. I'm currently having some issues with my dongle, and I would love to show you some things. I lost my old dongle. I just purchased a new one. It just got dropped off from Amazon, and of course, it's acting stupid. So I apologize. Other creators out there that they have had definite success with throwing a Wi-Fi dongle in there, and then you're able to do what you need to do with Wi-Fi. But in talking about Wi-Fi, other than scraping, retro achievements, and really Pico 8 native Explorer. Now, not saying that you can't play Pico 8 games, because there's actually a few that come on here for the stock, but if you have the Pico 8 license, you can take all of the carts from Pico 8 and you can throw it onto your SD card, and you can play Pico 8 on there, and then you don't have to worry about it. But if you wanted to search Native Explorer and be able to access any of the Pico 8 jams, the featured, the new carts, anything like that, you won't be able to do that without a Wi-Fi dongle. So just be aware of that. I actually got this in hopes that maybe my daughter would like to actually play some retro games. We'll see. Probably not, but here's hoping. My final thoughts are the BatleXP G350, while it has a very strange, complicated name, a little difficult to say, doesn't roll right off the tongue, it's not a bad little budget handheld. It really isn't. I actually enjoyed games on this device in testing it, and even when I didn't have to test it, I found myself just jamming on it a little bit and just really enjoying myself because the D-pad is really nice. Like this D-pad. This is the Anbernic 40XXV. This has the best D-pad, in my opinion, on any vertical handheld. The only real downside for this device, in my opinion, is that it doesn't have internal Wi-Fi. So I do feel like that is a miss for it. However, on the flip side, if you don't really care about things like Native Explorer for Pico 8, retro achievements, or even maybe if you needed to scrape box art and you didn't want to do it on your computer, then you can probably get a Wi-Fi dongle. But for everything else, it's going to work just fine. And I would definitely recommend this device for anybody that's getting into this hobby. It's a budget handheld, so it's not very expensive. It comes with games. It's got really nice inputs. The shoulder buttons are quiet. They're nice. The D-pad is amazing. I can't get over the D-pad. Have I mentioned the D-pad? How much I love the D-pad. It's awesome. The joysticks, I can take them or leave them, but they're there for the games that they need to be. And they're not the greatest, but whatever. Who cares? Because those are Switch style joysticks. The buttons are very nice. I would definitely recommend getting this for anybody that's starting out in this hobby, or just another budget handheld. Maybe the pink is screaming to you. Maybe you're looking for a gift for somebody. This would make a great gift, or a great starter handheld. You threw this in my stocking for Christmas, I would be your new best friend. So maybe consider it, that whoever's out there, that you wanted to make them all just have the warmth of nostalgia and give them a nice happy Christmas present. I know it's May, but just saying, or somebody's birthday. Maybe this is what you need. So let me know your comments below. What are you thinking about the BatleXP G350? Do you have it? Do you like it? Are you going to skip it? As always, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, everyone, and go play some games.